Okay, what's going on, everybody? All right, today I'm going to do a brief tutorial on some of the things that may really bother you if you are not feeling like you're the most physically fit or have done these kind of intense movements before or have sort of special considerations regarding your physical abilities. So the first thing I want you to understand is that these programs, these kinds of workouts that you're going to be doing, they are specifically designed to challenge you. So the first thing you want to do is get your mind right in terms of the challenge that's going to be coming towards you. However, the other thing that we need to help you understand is that you do not need to do anything beyond your abilities. In fact, you can regress or move to a default exercise for every single one of these movements. And the big ones that are going to be a little bit concerning for a lot of you are going to be some of the jumps, some of the getting down and off the floor, and sort of the fast pace of all of this, including things like squats and stuff like that. So let's start with jumps, okay? And high knees and anything sort of ballistic where the joints are really sort of pounding or you're jumping and things like that. Not everyone can do these types of movements. Not everyone should do these types of movements, and you know your body way better than I do, and so your job is to listen to your body. So here's the way you want to think about this. Let's talk about a jump first. First thing is, if I'm going to jump, right, I can certainly do a major jump, but a jump is simply a fast movement where you essentially leave the floor. So your brain can carry you through the jump without you ever leaving the floor. And it looks something like this. So here I am, I'm gonna jump and I'm not even leaving the ground. I just come down here to my knees and kind of explode up. Now my heels might leave the ground just a little bit, but they don't even have to. And so, there's something about that ballistic movement where your brain can basically feel your energy going upwards. So it's just this slight bend in the knees and then just propelling yourself upwards. It's just a quarter squat and up, right? And even if you take that squat even just a little bit, just this movement with your hands is basically like a jump. And if you do that, your brain starts to get used to that. And you'll start finding as you move along that you're going to be a little bit more likely to leave the ground. And some of you might start feeling your heels hitting the ground, and then some of you may go in to an actual real jump, okay? So this is the first thing. You go from a simulated jump where it's basically just arms to maybe a little hop to maybe a full jump. This is a really important thing to understand because your mind-body connection, your neuromuscular system, the nerve-muscle connections are still getting the message that you essentially want to jump. And so you actually think in your mind, well, I'm not actually jumping, Jade. What benefit am I getting? But your muscles are still getting a lot of the benefit because you're imagining and the nervous system is feeling this upward energy. And so this is what you want to be thinking about with jumps. Same thing with high knees and things like that. I can simply bring my knee up just like this. Now, other people might be going real fast, or you might see that on the video, but this is all that is required. This right here. This is the first thing. Now, if you can't even get your knees up that high, then it's just this movement. And what you can't see is my feet are barely leaving the ground. I could even come over here to the wall, right? And just gently lift up. You can use these props that way. And so the idea is that you really want to be thinking about what can I do? And let me regress all the way back. The same goes for squatting, by the way. Think about this. I have a couch right here. And so to me, a lot of us, when we think about squatting, we think, oh, well, my knees hurt. Well, we have to squat every day. There's no way around that. If you go to the bathroom, you have to squat. Sitting down is a form of squat, right? And so think about just sitting down. As a matter of fact, bring in a chair, like I'll do now, and I bring in a chair, right? And I can essentially set this chair here, and it's got arms on it. I can sit down in that chair. Now I've got my arms to help me, and I can push up and stand up. So this is literally a squat, right? Now, I could also use this chair to do almost like a squat jump, right? Where I come up and I just think about standing up and I don't even leave the ground, right? So this is also very much like a squat jump, right? So the idea here is that you can even use a chair, and you have to squat. You're always going to have to squat. So the idea that you're ever going to get a workout where you don't squat is silly and not appropriate and not going to be effective. But a squat is simply a chair sit without the chair, right? So if I move the chair away, now I can come here into just a brief squat, or I can go all the way down into a full squat. Same thing when you're holding any position, right? Let's say, sometimes you see these sort of situations where I have you come down and hold a position in sort of this squat hold position. You go down as far as you can and hold. Maybe it's literally right here, a tiny little slight bend in the knees where you feel tension in the legs, and this is your hold position. This would be your hold position, right? So you don't have to come all the way down here and hold. This could be it, and you could pulse from this position. The thing is that what happens to our minds is we see something on a video and we go, that's where I want to get to, but I want you to show me the way it is for me, Jade. What I'm wanting you to do is I want you to look at what's on the video, and I want you to go, okay, I can take baby steps to get there. I can slowly but surely start where I am and then get deeper and deeper and deeper until one day after 12 weeks, you're actually coming down into a deep squat. And here's the interesting thing about this. Your doctors are absolutely wrong, and I'll just say it. And you can tell them, call Dr. JT and ask him. Squats are the most effective thing you can do for your back, for your knees, and everything else. You are going to have to squat. If you have to sit on the toilet, you have to squat, right? And so if you're going to sit on a chair and get up, you have to squat. And so this is the idea behind this. You start with a chair if you need to, or you do just these subtle squats, and you pulse from there, or you hold from the range of motion that you feel comfortable with. Now, the other thing is, what about these things where we're getting down off the ground and stuff like that? This is perhaps the most functional exercise ever. It's really interesting. A lot of people don't know this and they laugh when I say this, but if I was going to devise one type of workout or exercise that I would say would be the most functional, the most metabolic, and the most healthy, it would literally just be you getting down on the ground and getting back up again. Down on the ground, getting back up again. This requires the entire body. It's functional. Everyone needs it. If you fall down, you're going to have to get back up. And so it's really interesting that a lot of people, when they see this, they go, well, I can't do that. And I understand that it can be tough, but think about it. If you can't get all the way down on the ground, well, you've got a chair. I'm actually in my hotel room right now, and so I'll show you. Like, I have a bed here, right? This is sort of the same thing. I can lay down on the bed and I can get back up, right? I can lay down on the bed, and you do this every day and I can get back up, right? Don't you get down on your bed every night before you go to sleep and back up? And think about how functional that is. Right here on this movement, just lying down and getting back up, or using a couch like is here, right? And getting back up. I can do that and get a tremendously beneficial workout. So if you can't get all the way down on the ground, think about getting down in a chair. I can do the same thing with this chair, right? I can come down here, sit, I can lay back on the chair, I can come back up, I can stand, I can come back down, right? And eventually, I can hopefully crawl down to the ground. And I can even use, things to help me get up, like the edge of this couch, right? I can actually get down on the ground and pull myself back up. And that is incredibly functional. And so the idea here is that you want to use what's available to you to adjust to your physical abilities and fitness level. This is the only way you progress. If it's too easy and your brain has nothing to shoot for, you're never going to progress. And so the idea here is that you challenge yourself, and you also understand that whether I'm saying get down to the ground or not, whether you can do that or not, well, you can certainly get down on a bed and get up, you can get on a couch and get up, you can get on a chair and get up. It's simply just getting up. And so many people will oftentimes use a chair for the entire workout, and that is just fine to be able to do that. Now, what about these ballistic movements, things like burpees and things like that? Well, burpees are getting down on the ground and then popping up, right? So this is a burpee right here. Look, that is a burpee. That's fine. And eventually you can get down a little further and come up, right? And eventually you could use a bed even and basically come down, lie down here, come up, and little jump. So what I want you to do is I want you to be thinking about getting very creative with these exercises to adjust to your physical fitness and personal abilities and physical abilities. This, you might think, is you not doing the workout. In a lot of ways, it's even better. You are getting so metabolic. Just try that. Getting up and down off a couch, a bed, a chair, or doing the burpees this way, or even just this kind of stuff, where anytime we're going down to the ground, you're doing this. When every time we're doing high knees, you're doing this. Whenever we're doing jumps, you're back to this. Whenever we're doing squats, you're right here. And guess what's gonna happen as you start to do that and take on these workouts and give your brain permission to not do it the exact way it is in the workout? Think about it. It's tough to take everybody's physical abilities and fitness levels and individualize them for every single person. What we want to do is say, here's where we want you to get to. This is the physical ability that you should be at. And we understand that almost everyone, trust me, you're not alone, almost everyone is not there yet. And so you want to give yourself permission to transition to these different moves. So hopefully that is making sense. I'll give you one more hint here in terms of how the body actually works with its muscles and nerves. If you get your mind on a particular muscle, you can begin to squeeze and connect with what we call the mind-muscle connection. And that's why these things are so beneficial. So I can go into a squat. We might be holding and pulsing. You could just be sitting here not doing anything, put your mind on your legs and just tighten your legs, right? So right now I am staying tight in my legs, tight in my hamstrings, squeezing my butt muscles, and I am engaged, and my muscles and my metabolism are working. Same thing without weights. If I just do this and I just hold a contraction like this. Same thing if I hold a contraction like that, where I straighten out my legs. And so if we're any movement we're doing, you don't even have to have weights with you so long as you understand this mind-muscle connection. What about a sit-up, right? Well, this, I'm standing up. This is a sit-up, and all I'm doing is contracting right here. I'm actually trying to feel my muscles work, right? And so I can just sit up like this. This is also a sit-up. Just lean back slightly, come forward. Lean back slightly, come forward, right? And so what you have to understand is that I get it. All of us are very different. All of us are at different ages. All of us have different physical abilities and fitness levels. And so what we need to do is get our metabolism and our body moving any which way we can. And when we do that, we begin the progress forward. And within 8 to 12 weeks, you're gonna see how much improvement your mind and your muscle has actually made. And this is where the magic happens. And so this is how I want you to be thinking about some of these movements that you might feel are beyond you, okay? So hopefully that is helpful for you. There'll be more to come like this if you need it. Let me know what exercises you're having difficulty with, and we will start to help you understand how to manage them. But I think I covered the big ones in terms of squats, in terms of ups and downs, in terms of jumps, and even lunges, right? Think about a lunge. All you have to do, this is a lunge. I just step out just a little bit. Then I step back. Notice how I'm not coming all the way down. I don't need to. I can just step out slightly. That's a lunge. That's a lunge. And if I need to, I can hold on to the wall here. Step out, lunge. Step out, lunge, right? And so the idea that you need to understand is that not all of us are going to be able to do these movements perfectly. Most of these movements, or some of these movements, you're not going to be able to do at all, depending on how long it's been since you worked out. And so hopefully you're starting now to understand that we have to give ourselves permission to start where we are and not get upset at the idea that the exercises seem beyond us. Easy is earned. It's a universal principle of life, isn't it? That you start where you are, and then showing up day after day is actually what allows it to become easy. It shouldn't be easy in the beginning for anybody. It should be difficult. And this is why you're engaged with this, because you know you've mastered something in your life that you could teach me. And you would probably tell me, hey Jade, it's gonna take some time, right? It's gonna feel awkward at first. It's gonna maybe be painful at first. It's gonna seem weird at first, but trust me, Jade, it's gonna get easy and easier as you practice and practice. Just start where you are. This is exactly what I'm telling you in my area of expertise, that you would teach me in your area of expertise. Easy is earned. Give yourself permission to earn your easy. Start where you can. listen to your body, be safe, and we're going to have an amazing progression forward. And I can't wait to see how well you do and where you get to. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out, and talk to you soon.